Hello everybody, welcome in. Hope you guys are doing well today. Welcome. We're going to be painting some dreadnought weapons today. And after that, we're going to paint some terrain. I'll kind of show you guys what we're working with. Fulton Hetzer, welcome in. Welcome in. Alright. So first, we have these little weapons right here. We're kind of working on at the end of last week, right? So we're gonna do a little bit. We're gonna finish these up, do a little bit of highlights, and grab them up a little bit, and then they'll be good to go. We got one weapon and then another weapon here. So I'm not totally convinced on the purple. Well, we'll see. We'll see. And then after that, I have some Zone Mortalis terrain, and I have a bunch of it. I did some spray painting, I did some gluing, so we got this stuff, and we have some work to do. Yeah, we got a couple colors to paint on here, we got a dry brush to do, and oil wash. Those are the big things. Yeah, so the weapons, these dreadnought weapons here, this is called a graviton pulverizer, and this is an inversion beamer, but they belong to this model here, this big Saturnine dreadnought. So we're getting them some replacement weapons. That's what we're doing. But yeah, we can go ahead and start. It's like a radial engine. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Let's steal a little bit of dark silver. These up. We're gonna do a little bit of highlighting on some of the silver around this mini. I was able to do some work on the on that Zone Mortalis terrain. I was pretty happy about that. I got a lot done last night. A lot more than I thought I would, honestly. Probably take this little alligator clip off of this. I think it's just gonna get in the way. How's everyone's week been? Hope you guys have had a good week so far. Right now, it gives you time to paint nice, yeah. Take advantage, brother. That's funny. Like, oh man, I'm sick. Oh yes, I'm sick. I'm excited to both have these weapons done. I have so many random magnetized weapons to paint. I think we do a no purchase August and just see what I can finish painting. No one asked you had Pizza Hut pizza last night for the first time in 15 years. It was mostly bread. It probably... No, you know, I bet it wasn't always like that. Pizza Hut was actually pretty decent at one point. But you're also dealing with corporation that has to maximize profit. Right? And I know I worked at a pizza place at one point, and I remember that now this pizza place was slightly different, but their number one cost as far as ingredient cost, it was the cheese for the pizza. So like wasting cheese was like an issue. But if you can, if you're able to skimp on some of those ingredients, I imagine the dough is probably one of the cheaper parts. So you can, yeah, the way of the world these days. Yeah, no kidding. No freaking kidding. You know, I was a kid in the 90s. Pizza Hut was like an experience. It was like going to Pizza Hut, right? Just highlighting all this dark silver here. Get back to the regular silver. We'll highlight that in a minute. Highlight the bronze and some of the copper as well. Painting Blood Angels right now. Very nice. Love it. You working on like an Armageddon box or something specific? What you painting? Tablet. Alright. Tablet's being all weird. Welcome in, guys. I am so excited to paint the Zone Mortalis stuff. I'm going to start 3D printing some terrain pieces as well to go alongside my Zone Mortalis stuff, so I'm going to try to get games in on the board soon. Oh, Death Company, okay, sweet. With the captain from Armageddon, very nice. Yeah, it's a cool mini. It's the sword and board guy, right? He's got the shield and everything. You gotta have a sword and shield guy anymore. It's too cool to pass up. Zone Mortalis like Necromunda. A little bit, yeah. I know they sell the Zone Mortalis terrain under the Necromunda label anymore. But Zone Mortalis is a game mode for 30k where you're fighting in like confined spaces. So always tunnels, you know, ship bulkheads, like all that kind of stuff. I know Necromunda tends to favor having like a more 3D gaming space where there's multiple levels and you know, you're worrying about elevation and everything. Zone Mortalis you can do that in Zone Mortalis, but I have never seen somebody do that. It's very typically just one single level. Yeah, 40k boarding action, another good place to put that. Yeah. Boarding actions came out and everybody's like, yeah, Zone Mortalis for 40k. Yeah, Zone Mortalis is kind of like a relic of old Heresy gaming, basically. Back in first edition, it was a really popular way for people to play, because you play with smaller armies and the boards are so unique and interesting. And yeah, it had some rules that came in a book in second edition. I have that book, I think it's the Siege of Cathonia book. But third edition, the rules are free on a PDF, and then they expanded them a whole bunch in a journal that just released. It was the latest journal to release, so. Got cool stuff, really cool stuff in there. working our highlights around on this piece here. Just 2 weapons. We're almost done with these. Good highlight on there. This guy. So I've been reading Siege of Terra series. I'm on the book called Lost in the Damned. And it's right at the, I think it's just the second book of the Siege of Terra. So, you know, like the 65th book in the Horus Heresy series, but it's the second book from the Siege of Terra. So I read Solar War. Solar War was okay. That was like, you know, the initial contact, all the ships coming out of the warp, and, you know, mainly the war in space, out in the solar system. And then Lost in the Damned is immediately after, so it's the initial invasion of Terra. So it follows up many just like normal people, you know, conscripts and beastmen and just army soldiers and stuff, and it's so good. It's such a good book. Yeah, I am really enjoying Lost in the Damned. It might be one of my favorite heresy books I've read out of the 20 or so that I've read at this point. It's got that good like sense of scale to it, because it's just like, you know, there's a lot of like normal people. It also follows a lot of the Primarchs, and you get like good discussion with Primarchs and stuff and cool things like that, but the normal person perspective on the Siege of Terra is really fun to read about. You're challenging me to read them all? Is that what you're saying? Maybe eventually. I mean, I have one more book, like physical book on me, a Siege of Terra book. It's a Magnus the Red book that I'll read next, but then I might have to look at the series. I have a lot of ebooks, like random ebooks people have given me or sent me, so, you know, I might try some ebook action, or I have audiobooks and stuff too, so We'll see. We'll definitely see. Lost in the Damned has been great, and it, you know, it features Sanguinius a lot. And I think I have read one book with Sanguinius, and he was fine in that book. But then this book is, he's fantastic. Him and Jagged Icon are both really cool in this book. Alpha Ace is a good listen. Okay, that's good to know. I have read Legion. When those books were coming out, I basically was keeping up with them for a short time. And I got about 20 in, and I think I read a couple like duds right in a row, and I was just kind of tired of it. And I stopped, and at that point I just like fell behind, and I was like, it's too much. And by duds, I mean Outcast Dead, which was incredibly boring and moved the plot 0 percentage points on. It was, yeah. Okay, I think that's good. Let's move on to this bronze. We're almost done with these, and we're gonna shift over to this Zone Mortalis stuff. Yeah, honestly, just reading Lost in the Damned makes me want to build like a 30k Beastman militia army. There's just it's like one or two like scenes, and I'm just like, man, that's so cool. D Slayer, how you doing? Welcome in. So, yeah. Well, hopefully your day gets better. You get better when you get off work. That's fair. Yeah. That sounds about right. Those bronze or copper? Those are copper. Okay. So that's my bronze on there. We got a little bit of bronze on this piece. Well, we're just painting some dreadnought weapons is all. And then we're going to paint some Zone Mortalis terrain. I got a lot of dry brushing, and then maybe we'll get started on some details. A lot of little here we're gonna get some howling griffins. I think I painted a howling griffin once. That's the red and yellow, right? Quartered color scheme. It was a long time ago, but I painted a howling griffin marine. That'd be cool though. Howling griffins look so awesome. You know, I do paint commissions. If you want to send me something, I'll paint a howling griffin for you. Okay. So for the bronze, let's get out some copper. Make sure our copper is all set. I do have something going on right now. It's not Howling Griffin related, but I am doing something called Project Legion. And it's essentially, I'm painting a Marine for each of the 18 legions. And you guys get to sponsor a Marine from each legion. So I think right now there are 7 legions that are sponsored. And if you would like to sponsor one, you can. All I ask is just a $5 donation that helps cover the cost of the set, essentially, that I'd be using to paint these. But yeah, and I'm gonna paint them. I'm gonna put them on display. And, you know, it'll be your name on the base. You will be forever that legion. Yeah, I actually have a page in the Discord, a channel in the Discord. You know what legions are left? Yes, yes. It's in the Discord. I'll read them out real quick. Let's see what is taken. Project Legion. Okay, so here's what's left. There are White Scars, Space Wolves, Imperial Fists, Night Lords, Blood Angels, Iron Hands, World Eaters, Ultramarines, Thousand Suns, Sons of Horus, and Word Bearers. Those are what's left. So there's the majority of them. Okay. I'm liking the look of these a lot. So yeah, if there's one you want to pick, like I said, just a little $5 donation. You let me know what legion you want, and I'll put your name down. I have some minis assembled. I did grab the box. I have some minis assembled, and I'm gonna start painting them soon. I'm gonna do them one at a time, and so it'll be a fun experiment on like what colors go with one. What's my favorite Renegade chapter? I don't know. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Here's what we'll do. I was thinking about, I see people have been doing this, and this sounds like a really cool idea. There is a faction you can play in Heresy. They're called Black Shields, and Black Shields are Marines that have basically renounced their legion, and they kind of form little bands and kind of do their own things, and they're not traitors, they're not loyalists. They all have their own, their own issues, their own things, and so there's all kinds of cool rules. Hey, all right, Fulton, what's your legion? What are you doing? I'll edit this right now. But I've been seeing people take World Eaters. Oh, sweet, sweet. World Eaters. That fault? You are set, sir. Message is too long. Why is the message too long? Okay. Go. All right, that's updated. We got you on there, that fold. But what people do, people take those black shields. You make rules for them. They're supposed to be like, sometimes they have like no equipment. They'll actually use like las guns and stuff, and like guard equipment, or here's what they can find. I think it's called weapons of desperation is one of the rules you can give them. But what people have been doing is they've been using those Red Corsair models as a base for their black shields, and they look incredible. Like it seems like it works really well for the purpose, and I thought that would be super cool, making a squad of black shields using those Red Corsair minis. And kind of mixing, I have tons of like heresy parts and shoulder pads and weapons and everything. And just taking those models with their like raggedy capes and different things like that, and just turning them into black shields. I've never done this, like, hazard stripe power cables. If it doesn't look good, we're just gonna go to the yellow. Go back to yellow. No, I don't think that's gonna. I don't think it's gonna work too well. I am not skilled enough. We're gonna change that yellow up a little bit. We'll add a little bit of interest to it, but. Alright, well, 8 legions are taken. There's also another part to this Project Legion, which if you read the big post there, the big pinned message, we'll talk about it. But if you want to like sponsor a whole squad, it's like a tactical squad of a particular legion, you want to see me paint it, or maybe even see it on the table if I can get things onto the table. Zone Mortalis would be a good opportunity to play just random squads of stuff. You can sponsor a squad, and I will get to painting them. There is one squad sponsored at this point, and it's Raven Guard Breachers. Okay, a good metallic red paint. So the Vallejo True Metallic metal line has been really good. I started using Ruby Red, and I have some Forge Red on order, but that's basically how I changed my my 1000 Suns color scheme to use that paint. So yeah, Vallejo is where it's at. Cover up these stripes, and let me, while that's drying, I'm gonna check using this Iandan yellow. Give that a good shake though. See if I can add a little depth to this yellow, because it's kind of washed out and plain looking. Yeah, here's this is, where is it? This is the Ruby Red color. And the Forge Red is a little more orange and a little less pink. This has just like the tiniest bit of like a cooler pinkish tone and not like an orange. I think the orange looks a little better for 1000 Suns. But we'll see. We'll see if that Forge Red lives up to its hype. I already like the Ruby Red. I'm already using it, so the Ruby Red with just a thin coat of Angron Clear Red over top works incredibly. Yeah, this yellow looks way better with this Iandan yellow over top. Good idea for homebrew chapter. Oh, cool, with metallic red. Yeah, it's solid. Yeah, there's not many like 40k chapters in lore that use like straight up metallic colors. There's metal, you know, like you have like chapters that have like gold or silver or bronze or whatever in their color schemes, but you rarely see 40k chapters with like metallic blues or reds or purples or anything like that. It's very much like a heresy thing, isn't it? It's a good opportunity for some good colors though. orange. With the old warm yellow. Let's see if we can't get a little highlight on here. Hey, my draw, what's going on? A beautiful day at work, yeah. It's going well here. And on these dreadnought weapons. That's all here. We're going to paint some Zone Mortalis terrain in a little bit. Yeah, we got soccer season officially in full swing for the painting sun. We're looking forward to it. practice tonight. Okay, I want to see this here. We're going to pull these weapons off. Here and here. On you. There we go. All right. Crazy and colorful. Their weapons. Nice. We have any combination of these weapons that can go on either arm. They look good. Yeah. All right. They're so stubby, the weapons on this guy. One more thing I'm going to do here. And then we'll call it on these weapons. Another kind of grimy wash. I'll align this a little more with the arm joints that they attach into. Okay. And I think from there, do is we clean up for a minute, some of this stuff away, and then we get some terrain ready. I'll have to varnish those weapons, but otherwise they're good to go. Alright, we got a lot of the workspace cleared. In 1 second, guys. All right. So for this terrain, let's get that bag out. Okay. We need a couple things. First of all, big old tub of paint here. Culture American, what's going on? Let's get back a little bit. So we got a giant tub of folk art paint. Large cheap brush. Big palette that doesn't matter here. We'll put you over there. And then of course our terrain. Now, this terrain, this is just a corner piece here. Zen 3D printed this, and it's printed in kind of two parts. So there's these gray parts that I painted that are like outer walls, or like the outer wall piece, like the frames. And then there's all these tan pieces that I also painted, but they are walls that you actually glue from the inside. So, and that one, yeah, see that one's kind of popping off. They're really difficult to glue, I realized. There was a lot of effort to get these guys glued in, but I did get all these glued together. So I have, you know, those are corners, these are the wall pieces. They fit together like this. I also have two different sized doors. So we got door pieces. There's some extra ones, like these are corner pieces. So it's basically two walls and a corner all in one. Somebody remixed this and it looks really good. But yeah, so these exist. They're very simple right now. Very simple. I also have pieces. It's one corner and then two walls, so it's like a longer wall. I wish I would have done more pieces like this and fewer pieces like this, but that's all right. That's all right. Luffy, what's going on? How are you doing? So what we're gonna take this folk art paint and give it a good shake. We're just gonna pour it onto our little palette here. We're gonna use this big brush and we're gonna do kind of a lighter dry brush over this. My whole plan is we're gonna dry brush this with this like a linen color. It's like an ivory kind of color. Or dry brush it. Then I'm going to pick out some details. So there's some grays and silvers along this mini with different points. So we're going to pick those out. Once those are picked out, I'm going to give this mini an oil wash. So we're going to do a black oil wash over every piece. And then hopefully we'll get the sponges and we'll clean out. We'll hopefully get some nice shading along on the inside of these. Some lovely sounds. Thank you. But yeah, that's the goal, and I think I might test the oil wash on one of these when we get it done. But we're gonna start with our dry brush. Dry brush is the first thing. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to dry brush, so we'll do. Hold on, let me grab something. Yeah, Zone Mortalis terrain. Okay, so I have a large box lid where I can put the dry brushed things. And I think this container of paint was like $5, like years and years ago. Like 7-8 years ago. Ooh, look how thick that is. That's fine. All I use it for is dry brushing, so it doesn't need to be to be anything special. I just wipe my paint off on the in that first one's always difficult. A lot of paint on there. Like I said, we're going to be doing an oil wash, but it looks pretty good already. All right. Okay. Something simple, right? So now we go through every piece and we do this. And just to get the effect, let's get this I did put pictures online of my painting experience with this, and how I hung the wall pieces, the outer pieces, on dowel rods. I hung them upside down. I dry brushed the bottom with a brown. You can see I got like a zenithal going, and then I flipped them all over and then painted with a white, or not white, a gray, as like a zenithal over top. And the inner wall pieces I painted with, well, I had a board I set on out in my garage, and I had double-sided tape, and I stuck the pieces to the double-sided tape and then sprayed them so they wouldn't go anywhere. Because they're not painted on the other side, just black filament. Okay. Yeah, these will be good. Let me get a bunch of them. I'll stage up a bunch here. I have a lot of walls here, but we can make a nice big board with this terrain. I haven't set it out and tried to like actually make up a board yet, but there we go. Okay. We will soon. I plan on adding like themed rooms in the Zone Mortalis. I want like a control room. I want like a storage room. I want like a power generator room, like an armory would be cool. A teleportation room would be really neat. So getting some different things like that would be really cool. I have 6, 7, 8, 9 more of these, of this piece. We'll do our next piece. Since I'm doing a lot of big dry brushing, something I gotta make sure I do is keep a good amount of paint on the brush. I don't want to get into a point where I'm having to put all kinds of pressure on it, because I learned painting a bunch of terrain that you wear yourself out doing that. Okay. trying to trust the process on this because I know they don't look amazing at this point. But I think with the right amount of work you can do that. Four more of these pieces. Too much paint on this one. But yeah, hopefully we can need some Bob Ross narration. That's what I do, man. Every day that's what I do. I do Bob Ross narration. Oh, you want me to say happy little accidents? Last one of the corner pieces, and we can do the big corners, the corners plus. Alright, got these big corners. Four of them. Sound effects, him smacking the brush in the heat. Yeah. Beat the devil out of it. Alright. Take out all your hostilities and frustrations. Now, does he say that? If I can recall him saying that. Mortalis there. He spread all over the place doing that. I mean, he did die of cancer, so could very well have been due to all the mineral spirits and stuff that he's inhaling or inadvertently ingesting, right? Right. Odorless absolutely does not mean non-toxic. Absolutely beating the devil out of this brush, though. Have to pick one up and review the what? A 48-ounce bucket. A 48-ounce bucket of what? From Duncan. Like coffee? Of a drink? That sounds dangerous. And irresponsible. I'll have to consult with Zen about this, because he either knows about it or he's about to get it. Sounds like why 50% of healthcare spending is diabetes related. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because the 48-ounce bucket at Duncan, 100%, honestly. Parks and Rec. Yeah, the child-sized cup. The size of a the size of a 3-year-old child, I think is what it is. Your average 3-year-old. Okay. We got that. Next, we're going to do these big walls. I have 4 of those, and again, I should have gotten like 6 or 7 of these, because 8 of them or so. How would it help reduce the number of pieces? Right. Dunkin's funny. You know, I had 3 months of free Dunkin' because of one that opened near my house, and Zen and I were one of the first 100 customers, so we got 3 months of free Dunkin'. It was a coffee or an iced coffee every day, and at the time, I was very specific where I was only gonna get like sugar-free drinks, so I'd get like a sugar-free iced coffee, and it's nice because they have like 10 or more different like flavors of like sugar-free like flavoring that you can put in your coffee. So you know, you can make some good drinks that are sugar-free and like no calories and everything. So it was good. My problem with Dunkin' was half the time there's very specific like nomenclature you use, I guess, when you're ordering a drink. You know, like because they don't measure things like how many like pumps of like flavoring do you want or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was. That was last year at this point, but so it was, you know, how many, but when I asked them when I was first there, like, I don't have any idea how this works, and I was like, how specifically don't spit in this one? Yeah. But I was like, well, what's the standard? Like, if I just order one with like cream and sugar, how many like pumps of, sugar do you put in? Pumps of like sugar syrup and, cream or whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's three pumps. And I was like, okay. So I'd go there and order, like, all right, I want like, the standard, like, and so yeah, just I'd go there and be like, yeah, I want, like almond milk and like sweetener or whatever. And sometimes, like, I think maybe like the first time it was like, yeah, it was 3 and 3, and I was like, oh, cool, all right, like this works. And then I was like, okay, I want like almond milk and sweetener. And then it was like, there was like nothing in there. And it was like they put in like nothing. Or they put in like 1 pump on each. Because I said, I didn't specify how many pumps. And then I started like telling them, yeah, I want like 3 and 3, and I would start like, I was, 2 pumps and 1 cream. Okay, yeah, instant mash. Yeah, also welcome in. So I kind of had a system that kind of worked, which was, I would tell them the exact number of like pumps of each, and I would say like, yeah, like 3 pumps of this flavor, 3 pumps of almond milk, whatever. Something I realized about Dunkin', though, you can order the same thing every day for a month, and you will get it 30 different ways. Like, it'll never be the same twice. It was crazy. Like, I don't think I ever had the same drink twice. Like, it was always different in some way or another. Like, maybe they put in the wrong creamer, maybe they put in too much of one and not enough of another, and it was just like every single time I was there, my drink was always different. And I kept that up for like, it was probably about 2 months. I got about 2 months into this free coffee every day, until I got tired of like not knowing if it was going to be any good. Like, you know, I'm not driving out of my way to go get something for free if it's going to be terrible. Yes, Instant Mash, these are 3D prints. Also, Leo, what's going on? Hold on, I got a response for you in a second. Yeah, these are 3D prints. They were free on Thingiverse. They're in 2 parts, so that the inner doors are actually separate parts, and you can kind of see where I glued them from the back there. So, but yeah, I eventually got tired of just having a different drink every time. And like, I wanted the same drink. Like, I had something I liked, but then it was always different. Always. Yeah. Leo, yeah, I love Zone Mortalis stuff. I'm excited to play some Zone Mortalis, so you guys will definitely see Zone Mortalis being played on stream soon. And I have lots of plans for like scatter terrain and stuff to put on the board and everything. I got ideas. It's just getting to them, but I'm painting all the terrain first. We're about approaching halfway done dry brushing all this stuff. What I'm doing for this terrain is I'm currently dry brushing. It was all kind of spray painted. I'm dry brushing it. I'm going to paint in some of the details. So there's some silvers and maybe some dark grays and stuff, little power conduits and stuff going through like the ceiling pieces, stuff like that. Once I get those little details painted in, I'm going to put an oil wash over this mini. And I think the oil wash will kind of bring everything together. And I want to put on a heavy oil wash, and I want to pull up the oils. So I think that's going to be the plan, especially on like these middle panels here. I think it's going to be important because they definitely need the different tones. So these will all just get covered in oils, and then we'll kind of see what other little things we want to do from there. I know some things have like little lighting parts on them, and especially the doors I think have lights on them, so we'll figure out what to do with the doors. All right, that's it for those long walls. We can, yeah, let's do the short wall piece. These are our standard wall pieces here. Friends love the idea of Zone Mortalis. Only 3.0 they're interested in. How much terrain costs? Yeah. The big problem with Zone Mortalis is like the cost of terrain. But that's like the feature, right? But then again, you don't have to play with the Zone Mortalis terrain. The rules for it are basically like confined spaces. So if you can get terrain that's like that represents a confined space, whether it's like a trench network or even like a really heavy like urban battle, then you're good. A super dense jungle with like foliage that you can't get through, like you can make this stuff. And I know like not everybody has access to 3D prints, so you know it's not like I can just say like, yeah, just 3D print this. This whole set was, I think, like 2 kilograms of filament, which is about $20 US, which is crazy compared to the hundreds, like $500+ you'll spend on like proper GW Zone Mortalis terrain. But yeah, again, I understand not everybody has access to that printer like that. I have like 20, 30 of these walls. How many do I have? 6, 8. 32 of these walls. Yeah, I would love to mess around with the actual GW stuff I don't know anybody, I think, that owns the actual GW Zone Mortalis walls. The boarding patrol stuff works too, or the kill team walls that came out where they do like the Into the Dark or whatever kill team stuff. Those all work for Zone Mortalis because again, it's about narrow spaces, doorways, right? Limited mobility. That's the big things about Zone Mortalis. We play at stores only. Yeah, stores don't want terrain they don't sell on the tables. And invest in terrain only a few players will use. Yeah. Ugh, that's rough. Yeah, you're just a little limited by your environment there. Okay. Continuing on. What's up, Killa Cam? How you doing? It's my opponent for tomorrow. We're playing Middle Earth SBG on stream. Gonna be the brave, heroic dwarves of Khazad-dûm versus the evil Ents. Yeah, I was thinking about starting up, trying to get a set evening going at a local store for 30K. We haven't had that. We've never had, like, there's nowhere around here that's ever had just like a set heresy night. But yeah, I was considering that. I was just trying to work that into whatever time I do have. It's funny because there's not many like active heresy players like that I find via Discord or like people that will go to events or something around here, but heresy stuff sells like crazy at all the local stores, so like people are buying it and collecting it. And it's just nobody's playing, or people are just playing on their own, you know, outside of the stores and stuff. So it'd be nice to try to organize a little more of a group. a regular night to get people showing off their collections and getting some games. Well over the halfway mark with the dry brushing. Hey, Killer Cam, if you're still chilling, I actually had a question for you. Are your boys doing soccer? They doing fall soccer? I know my son is, but we signed up for the other league. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. We signed up for the other league. We asked him. We went over, like, you know, kind of like pros and cons about the different leagues and you know what it would mean and everything, and he picked the other leagues. So the other, which was funny. We were talking to yeah, my son started Monday as well. We were talking to his coach, who's also the commissioner of soccer at that park. And she said she reached out to the city before the season to try to see if they wanted to join up and do everything. She said they didn't want to. So they didn't want to have anything to do with them. And yeah, soccer, yeah. No, my son's school starts next week. So there's a park near our town, and that's part of a township. And for some reason, the township has this weird rivalry with the city, and I don't know what caused it. Yeah, I don't. Well, it seems like it's, you know, this specific instance was more on the city's side, where they don't want to work together, where the township was like, we're gonna do stuff. But I think what happened, my theory is 100 years ago or more, maybe 120 years ago, someone from the township accused someone from the city of stealing a cow, and now you know, they denied it and said they stole their cow, and they just went back and forth, and now the two entities are forever rivals. And it's just like in their blood, like in the charters of both the township and the city, where, you know, they have to hate each other because of old Farmer Bill's cow or whatever. Nothing like a good feud. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Back when there was like 20 people living in each. Just like two families. Use my glove as a dry brush mat here. Yeah, because my wife and I had thought, like, man, if those two groups would work together, we would have a nice little league between the two of them. And then it's kind of best of both worlds, where you can get things a little more organized, but practice is close to home, and you might have to drive a little bit for half your games, but it's not like it's too far away. And then all the kids are kind of in one spot, and it's not like there's just the weird split. Belong to specific football clubs and Ultra clans. That's funny. Yeah. Okay, Peter. Jeez. Almost halfway done with these little walls here. After that we have doors, and then basically set on this color we can start doing details. Alright, let's get our next batch of short walls here. It's 15 walls. Version racial divisions, although some clubs are racial if they're founded by a minority group. I've been a Yalonker, like my father and grand. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Peter, you live in, is it Lithuania? Is that correct, or is it a different country? Oh, Poland. Sorry. Okay. I guess your name is very Polish. Okay. There was someone in chat. This was a couple months ago. We were talking about food, and they had mentioned pink soup, and they were describing it, and I was like, man, that sounds wild, like pink soup. I just watched a YouTube video of someone making pink soup. And it didn't look too bad. It looks strange, but definitely something I would try. I couldn't remember who it was. I just watched that, made me think of them for that moment. So many wall pieces. It's still quicker to paint than that prospering terrain. Like the yeah, look at this, it was a cheap brush anyway, you know. I bought this brush specifically to dry brush terrain, and the past like month or two I've been putting it through its paces. Yeah, what's going on, Utini? How you doing? Yogurt, dill, and beetroot juice. Okay, eat in the summer. Lithuanians add hard-boiled egg to it, which we view as a sign of barbarism. Yeah. Eat with bread, which they call animalistic. Yep. That was one of the things the video talked about how different people groups have very different, slightly different versions that they become very passionate about with their pink soup. But just yeah. I'm doing more than dry brushing these, but the dry brushing does a ton of work. Yeah. Yep. We're going to after the dry brush, I'm going to pick out some details, some like metal and maybe some like dark gray details, and then it's an oil wash. So I'm going to do an oil wash that'll hopefully like darken and add some interest, especially like underneath these walls and everything. Like these inner wall panels will get some nice details, nice different color gradients and everything. We'll paint my dry brushing with this stuff. Folk Art Linen, matte linen. Our brand or Walmart. It's like a Walmart craft brand. That's it. Yeah, just it's a cheap craft paint. It might even be Walmart. I'm not sure. If it is Walmart, then I bought it years and years ago. Man, do I hate Walmart. Ukrainians add green beans. Belarusians add potatoes, as they do with everything. Why is there no egg in it? Oh no! All right, all right. Yeah. You know, seems like Eastern Europeans have gone to war for less. So okay, do you normally put cucumber in it? Because the recipe I saw was cucumbers. It was the beets. You like boil the beets, right? And you grate them. Is what they did. They grated the beets. They mixed it with is it kefir or buttermilk or yogurt? Right? It's a yogurt. And they had cucumbers, dill, chives. Yeah, and then he did the Lithuanian recipe where he put the hard boiled egg on it, but. But yeah, I have a ton of this Zone Mortalis terrain, and I was working on it over the weekend and throughout some of this week, just trying to get it ready to brush some colors on it. But I have tons of terrain, so just a lot of. I have 4 of these. There's like 30 something of these walls that I'm almost done with. I got door pieces to dry brush after this, and that's it for the dry brushing after those door pieces. I have corner pieces, bigger corner pieces, just, yeah, and these are all kind of the basic pieces. I think these walls are going to bother me until they're done. What color oil wash? I'm going to do black. Yeah. Hey, Spook Blook, welcome. Welcome in. Off to go sprinkler shopping? Oh, fun. You have fun with that. Rare miniature today? We know which one. Yeah, what'd you get? A rare miniature. A defiler? Yeah. Oh, snap. You got Calgar on his throne? Oh, that's cool. On his toilet seat? Yeah, the one he looks like he's on his toilet? That's epic. That's super cool. Almost done. Tempted to make vintage Ultramarine army. That'd be really cool. Just a bunch of old Rogue Trader stuff. Last wall piece, and then we have some door pieces. I don't have the actual doors that go into the door pieces yet. Zen printed them for me, so I'll get them by the end of the week. I'll have to start painting them, but that's fine. Got enough to do. Doors themselves are done, or the walls. Let's get these door pieces. The door pieces had like a weird thing happening when they were printing. They needed supports on like the wall pieces. But up underneath the actual door itself, don't need to worry about that too much. Ooh, it's gonna be tough to dry brush. Do we need a smaller brush? Yeah, I had to go over this with a smaller brush. Okay, and there will be time for a smaller brush, so we'll set these up here. Let me see how the big door should be good. But up underneath this door, you can see the individual like filament strands. I actually had to like pick and break off some of them just because filament printers don't do super well with just like one long like flat strand that's hanging up in the air. It's not something they do too well. So four big doors, 3 little doors. We're almost done. Yeah, just so you guys know, these STLs were free on Thingiverse. I will I'll share a link here in a few minutes. you guys want. If you're interested in checking these out. The files themselves are a little confusing to go through. They're not really well organized, and it's very much like this guy made these as a project for himself, and then decided to upload them as like, you know, I bet other people would like this. So, you know, he doesn't charge any money for it or anything, but there's definitely a few things that are questionable that you wouldn't see in like someone who does this, you know, that's expecting people to pay. That's the big doors. So get these little doors started, and then I'll get a smaller dry brush and we'll get inside the door frames. Okay, set that brush down. Let's get a smaller dry brush here. Okay. So we have all of that dry brush done. Glove helped. It's nice. And yeah, we used about 10 cents worth of paint, so that's all good. And they're starting to come together. What I could do, if this ends up being, like this stuff ends up just being too monotone, what I was going to originally do before I kind of changed my mind, but while these were all taped to the board that I sprayed them on, all these inner walls, I was going to take a dry brush and just get the middle of them. Just kind of do this thing, which I could still do. I think I'm still going to do the oil wash first. But I think what I'm going to do, we'll do a little test here just to kind of see what kind of colors you want to use. Let's grab something a little more interesting here. There's a good one. Okay. So two colors that are important here. First one is, I think, dark warm gray. And there's these power conduits right here. I could mix it up and do some reds and everything to change up the colors on these. But we'll see. We'll see what this dark warm gray does for us here. Only problem is if I do, like, say one red and one gray, it might look interesting, but then it'll make us have to turn things certain ways so it looks right. That's not that big of a deal. Might be enough to be annoying. These are... I also don't think my painting with these details have to be very precise just because of the oil wash. That. Take some silver here. Just a little bit. Okay. So there's some details on the wall. Now I can add other colors, we can do other stuff. Maybe this is a worthy test of the oil wash, though. Just to see how it turns out.
Four computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
A thicker oil wash. Good. Let's try it. Let's try it. We got a container here. This way. I think this will need to sit for a couple hours before I start wiping paint off, but That's washed, and we can call that our test before we start doing everything else on all the other stuff. But yeah, I think we're gonna call the stream there today. Kind of at a good spot. Yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow at about 11 a.m. Eastern, and we're gonna be playing a game of Middle-earth SPG. So it's gonna be the Kingdom of Khazad-dûm versus the Ints of Fangorn. So giant tree people. Should be a fun time. Killicam's gonna be joining me. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that. I'll continue painting the Zone Mortalis terrain. I'll be posting updates on it. We'll try to figure out what works for us. But yeah, what else? If you will be part of Project Legion and represent a Legion, just check out the relevant Discord channel called Project Legion, and you can get some all your relevant information there, and you can represent a Legion if you want. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow, and you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Should be doing Patreon Hangout tonight, so if you're a Patreon member, come and chill with us tonight and chat and hobby and stuff. Might be doing more of this stuff tonight, but yeah, you guys have a great day, great afternoon, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.